Hi, it's Sarah here from Crafting and Stamping, and I'm back with another quick tip. And my tip today is about using your ribbons, and I'm going with the sheer ribbon combo pack today because we've got 3 different coloured ribbons in the same pack, and of course this is my pick of the week this week. But this is a great one for using up buttons. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm like many crafters, I have a button box and I keep the buttons that you get on all the clothes. You've usually got a spare button included when you buy anything, any item of clothing, and they sit there, and most of the time I don't need to use them on the clothing. So I end up with lots of extra buttons. Now I'm going to pick this one. It's not ideal. I could use it this way. Actually, I think I will use it this way. It's quite pretty. But the reason I'm using this one is just because it makes it easy. It's just got 2 holes. Now, if you've got a 4-hole button, you could ignore 2 of them. So don't make life difficult for yourself. You can still ignore them. Now, what I'm going to do is I've got the trio of ribbons and we're going to put these down one side of our card. I'll just give an idea of how we're going to do this before we set going. And I've got a card base of Azure Afternoon, one of the colours here, a card layer of Bubble Bath, and of course we've got the Lemon Lolly. So what we're going to do is put these across this area, and then we're going to tie them together with our button. And because this sheer ribbon is shot through with silver, I'm going to use a little bit of silver cord to tie them with. But what we're going to do first is stamp our card front. So I'm going to use the Days to Remember stamp set, and I'm just picking out the Happy Birthday sentiment and the little star. That's all that I'm using on this. Now, I know that I'm going to want my tied ribbon around about halfway. So I'm going to pop my sentiment over here. I don't want it too close to where the ribbon's going to be. So we'll just briefly do this. And I've got a lot of ink on there. I'll have to be a bit careful. So, got my mat behind. Stamp that there like that. And I'm going to stamp some of these stars around as well. I probably should start with my paler colour, but as I've already got the Azure Afternoon out, I'll go with this. And I'm just rotating the star occasionally, like that. So I'm going to give this a quick clean. And I find my stamp cleaner. And just blot it. And now I'm going to go with the Bubble Bath. So one of our colours here. And we're just going to, this is a pale colour, as you can see, and that didn't quite get the edge of the star there. I have to be a bit careful. And very pale, which is why I've not used it for the sentiment. And we're going to switch now to our Lemon Lolly. Again, another pale colour. Again, just puff on that to clean it. It looks quite bright on here, but it's not quite as bright as all that. And I'm just going to bring one over here like that. So we've got our sentiment and some stars down there. Now what I'm going to do is attach this next to my bubble bath layer, and I'm not going to worry too much about the strength of this, but when it comes to adhering the ribbon, I want a strong adhesive. So we don't need that now. So if you're like me, and plenty of other crafters that I happen to know, and you've got a button box with lots of buttons around, then this is a lovely way to use them up. And I'm going to use tear and tape so that it's nice and strong, and I'm actually going to use, let me see, I'm going to use several strips of it, because if we pull the ribbons tight with the button, which is the intention, it's going to put some tension on them, and I don't want that tension to pull the ribbons free. So I'm probably doing overkill here, but like I say, I don't want to lose my ribbons. Now, one thing that I'll just point out, if you're using a ribbon like this, a button like this to tie your ribbons together, it is going to add bulk, so just be aware of that, because it can make a difference in terms of how much it costs for posting. Now, because I have got this bubble bath behind, I'm going to make my bubble bath the centre ribbon here. So I'm just going to cut that, and I'll use that as a measure for cutting my other ribbons. Nothing actually measured, just know that I've got some extra top and bottom there to wrap around this layer. Now I'm going to bring in my silicone mat so that I don't accidentally stick to my desktop behind. So I'm going to peel these off. I'll just peel off one end of this for now, and there is a right way and a wrong way to this ribbon. So this is kind of the wrong way. This has got a much flatter surface to it. So I'm going to pop that there like that. And now I can add my lemon lolly, bang up next to it, and the azure afternoon, feeling for which is the surface each time. So we've got those side by side, and now we can bring these over and fasten them behind. So just like I say, take care that some buttons will add more bulk than others, and you might even want to protect that in the envelope. So I'm just making sure that looks even. Protect it in the envelope with a little piece of bubble wrap or something over the top. So again, I'm pulling that taut and lining that up, and bring that one around and pull that taut and line it up with that one. So there we have all of our ribbons like that. And I'm actually going to tie, no I'm not, I'm going to put this on first because it's going to make it easier to do it while it's flat. So, thinking as I'm going, and I will just put my tape on either side of the ribbon's going to help that stick. Now I'm putting a little bit extra on because we've got that tension there. So I'm going to pop that on the card front like that. And now I'm going to thread my cord through. And this is why I don't put adhesive on the back of the ribbons, because then I can thread that through, and difficult when you're on camera. So I'm going to now tie a knot in my yarn, but I want to just even these out a little bit. I'm just being a little bit careful because that is pulling. And I should have put a little bit of adhesive behind the ribbon as well. It would have been an idea. I should have put some tear and tape on the top of the ribbon. So there we have. I'm going to just fuss with this a little bit to make the bow a little bit smaller, and to help this just lay a little bit flatter, I'm now going to just pop a couple of glue dots underneath the button to hold it down. So we'll have one just there, and pop one underneath on that side, and that's sticking to, there we go. So now I can press that down, and there we have our button tied ribbon. So I do hope that that has given you an idea for using up any buttons you may have in your button box. It's a nice fun idea, great way of using up those spare buttons that are hanging around, and you can just, I'm going to just lift that, and I'm going to lift my lemon lolly one on that side so that the bubble bath sort of hides behind the two. So there we are. Please do subscribe to my channel below to see a quick tip every Friday and a quick card every Monday, and please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the project. Thanks for stopping by.